Boat's most of the way ready, but I gotta load my ultralight and a couple other things. Put you guys right there. I feel like the ElaZtech is starting to melt through the package. Little fish rag. Why not? Pliers. I decided to start trying this new rig. I got one of those net rigs for my pliers, and I just clip these on a belt loop on my shorts or pants, and you could just quickly pull it off, pop it back on. Probably pretty complex for what I could be doing, but I don't really care. Go pop these pliers in the cup holder here. And then I got my topwater box and my little chatterbait. I also got to put this on my bag. So I'm gonna put you guys looking over here so I could come over and put my stuff in the bag, on the bag. I also got to put this stuff in the bag. But I gotta check if that ElaZtech's actually melting the package, because I don't want that. Welcome to the live. Getting my boat set up right now. Right now I'm checking if the Z-Man ElaZtech is melting my package. I think it is. It feels crusty. That just got here, but we're seeing what's going on. Here I got what I got for my ultralight. Thank you for the like. I got the worms, and then I have 2 flashback minis in here. This one's in horrible condition because I lost this when trout season just started, and I fished it with a swivel for some reason, and someone found it and left it down at the creek. This is my most recent one. Better condition, has that worms trailer on it, but there's no paint on it because I used the crap out of these micro chatterbaits. And this is the only, besides my top water box here, I only have a spoon in my worms box for ultralight tackle. So I'm gonna get all these. I'm gonna move the camera again because I'm no longer in the bag. But I'm sticking these guys back in. I believe they're not melting the package. This is what I got for my ultralight for today. Pflueger President with some custom rod. I got a topwater beetle on there. Just now trying that out. I'm pretty excited to catch some more fish on it, because I caught some last night. And then my topwater box. I just need to take this hula popper out because it's melting. Yeah, that's bad. I got a micro hula popper. Little like rebel frog. Thank you for the like. I'm trying to watch the likes as much as possible and say thank you for everyone liking. Hi, Leham Fernandez. I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize if I didn't. I got a little baby buzzbait and a little topwater soft body frog. I'm gonna leave the hula popper out of my little topwater box because it is melting all over everything. And beetles on my rod, so I'm not gonna put that on. And little topwater box is going in my bag, so toss it over there in the boat. This has to go in the bag, so toss it over there. I don't know where I'm gonna put that yet, but we'll toss it over there as well. And then for rods, bass rods, I have, this is a 3000 series reel with a medium action rod, 12-pound test here. I got a Googan chatterbait. I don't really like Googan, but that's the best chatterbait I own right now. I found that chatterbait. This is the Lew's American Hero combo. I also don't like Lew's very much, but I have 2 of them on the boat. Then I have the Abu Garcia Vengeance rod with a Abu Garcia Max Pro. This is either 12 or 15 pound with a football jig and a little crawl trailer. I got an old Daiwa, I think it's called like a Procaster or something. It's one of the first they made with a button. Just throwing a baby bass Senko on there. It's my best producing color for the year. I've caught quite a few 2-pounders, couple 3s, and I believe 1 4 this year. But I caught a 5 either last year or the year before on a crankbait. That's the best I've done on the lake. That's my current PB. I'm hoping to get that up soon. And then I got a Lew's Reactor with, once again, 12-pound line. Lew's Laser. I don't even know what that HS means. Speed stick. Got a chartreuse and white spinnerbait on there with like a double. I call those thumper blades, but I have double thumper blades on there. And obviously the ultralight that I showed you guys previously. This is not mine here, but these are the other rods on the boat. Just base Vengeance combo with a curly-tailed worm that has no tail. A Lew's, what is this? A Mach 2 combo. Then a Mach 1 bait casting combo. Then Ugly Stick. I actually gave him this Ugly Stick. And older Abu Garcia Cardinal. And a Vengeance with an older Black Max reel. And that's what he's got. Then casking pliers. I'm missing my casking pliers. Love casking, by the way. I'm planning on getting some of these reels exchanged over to casking in the near future. And as of my box, well, my bag, I got an older sun-faded bag. I've used this thing for years, though. It's kind of pain in the butt right now because that top strap is always in the way. I got some homemade, I won't say bellows gills because I don't want to get sued or copyrighted, but I have like these gill-styled baits that I made. I got 2 of them in brown, which I don't really fish those except for pre-spawn and spawn season. I got loose soft plastics up there. Like I have, I think that's like Yama scope shads from Yamamoto. I got tons of Berkley power bait in there, a couple flukes in there. I got watermelon red Senkos that I made and watermelon red gill styled baits. Some trick worms in there. I got, starting off with the first box, Pennsylvania. I don't fish that lake very often. I mainly fish Howard. But this is my top water box. I'm trying to fish more frogs. I got like a flapping toad here, tons of whopper ploppers, jitterbugs, spro frog. This is my most expensive topwater, besides maybe that, but I think it costs a little more than that. So, spro frog, got some. I don't think I have any popping frogs. These are all like walking frogs. Got black walking frog and another walking frog with a kicking tail that you can remove. Your generic Walmart frogs, a hard body frog, and some Amazon frog, I believe. Bunch of torpedoes. Actually, I do have one popping frog in there. Another walking frog there. Big whopper plopper, and I believe 2 poppers in there. That's what I got for top waters. I'm gonna hopefully buy a little micro whopper plopper today to put in the little top water box. These are my crankbaits, jigs, and chatterbaits. I got a Pitbull square bill, a couple lipless crankbaits, bandit crankbaits. These are my deeper diving, so this is the 200 series. I have 2 Z-Man chatterbaits. One has that Yamamoto scope shad. The other has a little paddle tail that I made. The action on these aren't very great. I'm not a fan of them. Mega Bass square bill. 2 Bandit 100s. 2 more. These are Guggen clutch lipless crankbaits. And a blade bait in there. I don't really fish blade baits, but I'm hopefully going to make a long form once it gets colder on the boat. I'm me fishing the blade bait, trying to get a bass or something. I have Berkley, what was this? Honey Badger? Money Badger? Yeah, it's Money Badger. I don't remember what size it is. I picked up at Ollie's for dirt cheap. Jointed flicker shads. I believe I have 1 normal flicker shad in there. Bigger jointed flicker shads. And 2 normal flicker shads in there. Whole bunch of jigs here. Which that divider pops out every single time I open this box. This is so annoying. I'm hoping to get one of the single latch boxes soon. And just upgrade all my tackle storage. Except for the bag. I love my bag. I apologize for this not cooperating. Good enough. I don't know what style jig this is. I'm assuming it's some kind of dragging jig. You just drag on the bottom. I have no clue what this is. I randomly found it in my tackle box. I have no clue when I got it and where I got it, but it's pretty nice, I guess. It's got a couple little hits on it, so I've either fished it or found it. Guggen swim jig, a 3/16 ounce on chartreuse and white. I have a Berkley power bait worm. That was brown with a chartreuse tip. Those are pretty good worms. I don't know why I cut up a trailer, but I don't really have trailers, so I made my own. Another football jig. Skirt's missing on this guy. Probably melted off. Some double tail grub on that as a trailer. And then last but not least for my crankbait box is this black and purple, I believe. Actually, no, there's blue on it too. But I believe this is a Strike King swim jig, which I forgot to mention. This is a swim jig. I think I forgot to mention that, but this is a swim jig. And throw that back in the jig pile, and then I'll fix that later, the divider. I'll just slide that back and put the jigs on top. I'll probably fix it after the live. Next we got Senkos, because you can never go wrong with a stick bait. These are mainly my skunk beaters here. I got this custom stick bait that I found, but it's worked great. It's pretty durable. I've caught, in the time that I found it, I only fished it once, and I caught 2 at least 3-pounders, 1 1-pounder, I believe 2 2-pounders on this, and you could see there's hardly anything wrong with it. So I need to find out what plastisol this guy was using, because it's great. And I have that thrown in with some watermelon red Senkos. Got your Senko rings, even though I don't use them. I don't wacky rig stuff. What's up, Water Over Worries Wow Fishing? Sorry if I'm late on saying what's up back to you, because I've been paying attention to recording my worms, obviously. And we got baby bass colored Senkos. I love these guys. Best color for this year. My best color last year was watermelon red. When I went to Prince Glitzen, that was the best color, so that's why I have almost none of those. I got perch Senkos. These are homemade. I think they were green pumpkin. Try to get that in the sunlight a little bit. They're a little opaque for what they are. That's why I made new ones. Those aren't my best color. Well, my best attempt. We got June bug and one black and blue. I have this like fatter, more purplish June bug that I found. I don't believe there's anything wrong with it, so I'm going to try to fish it at some point, probably when the water gets dirty in Howard. And then I got green pumpkin with purple flake, and I believe that's like a copper or a pink flake. I never noticed that before. And I found this worm, another green pumpkin with like a holographic silver flake. That's it for my Senkos. I always forget that this box is also horrible for closing. Slide that back in there. We got my terminal tackle. I'm going to go over this guy a little quicker, because nobody wants to talk about terminal tackle. I believe that's a Lunker Hunt jointed crankbait. I need to return that, because that's not actually mine. Deep diving perch crankbait. I don't remember what this thing was. I think it was a Berkley digger. Well, it's definitely a digger of some sort, but I think it's Berkley branded. 14.5 foot. I found it in Howard. Little jerkbait I bought in Florida a long time ago. Storm, some kind of storm crankbait, random Ned rig. You got your weedless wacky hooks, more like wacky or octopus or circle hooks, whatever you want to call them. Swivels and like just rusty stuff that I don't use. Some Ned rigs and Ned heads, which that needs to be moved to my ultralight tackle box, because I only fish Ned rigs on ultralight. Jig heads and a random trout magnet that's been sitting in there for years. I also don't really use those. Offset hooks. I believe this is like a drop shot offset hook. I've never used it. I kind of want to try it. Bullet weights, couple split shots. I believe one swivel. Speaking of bullet weights, that's a very large bullet weight. And then I got these like bottom dragging weights, drop shots. I don't really use those weights as much either. I don't typically put weight on worms. I'm typically fishing hard baits, jigs, spinner baits. Not really a worm fisherman. But here's my worm box. Well, soft plastic box, if you would say. Curly-tailed worms, straight-tail worms, crappy jigs, curly-tailed grubs in there, salamanders, paddle tails, really long ribbon tails. I believe I have 1 brush hog style bait in there, 2 craws. I believe I have more craws in here somewhere. Like, I think I have black ones in like this section or this section. I only really use those as trailers. And that's just about all I have for the main tackle boxes. And then we flip into here, which actually I'm gonna open this front pocket, put my ultralight stuff in here. I'm not bringing very much ultralight because I'm just trying to catch some bass. I use my ultralight as my like base skunk beater. I typically throw my little chatterbait or little topwater on my ultralight to start off, and then I beat my skunk, and then I switch over to bass gear. And then I try to beat my bass skunk and throw a Senko. But in here I got more soft plastic worms. These are like the mystery tackle box branded worms from BioSpawn. I need to fish those more. And then I have crazy amounts. I don't know what the live stream's doing. I apologize if something's happening to the live, but something keeps popping up on my screen. I have crazy amounts of spinner baits. They're older. I want to get new ones because I want to get Dobbin spinner baits because they're pretty cheap at Ollie's. At least last time I looked, they were. That's what I got for spinner baits. And then I will figure out that box later. There's not really a whole lot left to talk about. I got this little rig here for my rods. Just bungee cords connecting to this like loop thing here. I'll detach them for now. Just put that on the older rod. So I'm gonna give the good old Lose Reactor a little cast. Hold on, guys. I gotta get this reeled up. Be wild if I backlash right now. Be super embarrassing. A little bit. Nice little cast. All my rods are decently dialed. The Max Pro is probably the best that I have dialed. I'm gonna flip this, reel in my rod so I have both hands. Get this rod back. But I just got that little spinner bait. Skirt's all messed up, an older spinner bait, but I'm hoping that they're gonna be chasing bait fish today. Still no backlash. I'm just hoping they're chasing bait fish or craws, because those are gonna be my main 2 approach. I'm definitely gonna throw the Senko at least once on the older rod. I actually just got that from a friend for 20 bucks. So I love that rod. And here's that rod. Now, I'll give you guys a better close-up. Only thing you won't see a close-up of is my spinning rod, because I like that rod, but I'm not crazy about it. But here's my little Senko rig. I'm gonna Texas rig it a little better when I get on the water, but one of the first bait casters with a button, the Daiwa Procaster PMA 33. It's missing that little sticker on the side by the magnetics. It has the tension knob, brakes work, everything works on it. It's just it doesn't have the stickers talking about the brakes. We'll give it a little cast. Apparently I don't have this thing very well dialed. Not crazy bad, but just on an older Bass Pro rod. It says high speed, but has little handles. Just, it kind of sucks for real speed. I got that thing back in. Wonder if any of my mods are in right now. I don't think so. No, I don't have any mods in right now. But that's my Senko rig. Most dialed of them all. My little football jig. I love this rod. It's the most expensive rod that I own. Well, besides my ultralight, because I creek fish a lot. So I kind of just spent a ton of money on my ultralight. Just cast it across my entire yard. There's a little bit of a loop right there, but not very much of a backlash. I'm gonna go grab this from the grass because I don't want to get this jig scratched up. Got the jig back. Don't worry, no scratches. I'm gonna pick you guys up and do a little cast to prove this thing is dialed. Thing's absolutely dialed. Definitely not a no thumb, but I don't like to dial mine for no thumb. So you can have a little more flipping capabilities. I'm gonna get this thing in. I really suck at doing this one-handed. Got a little tree there. I'm gonna try to flip it under the tree. I'm also sure my little crawl trailer does not appreciate this. Get this little guy in. I'm gonna right under that tree. This thing's absolutely dialed. I love it. I believe I put like 2 hours into just dialing this bait caster. And that's why it's doing so well. And then I just use the crap out of this thing. I haven't beat this reel at all, I don't think. Maybe. I think that's a little... No, I remember that was on it when I first got it. There's a little scuff. Reel's dirty, but besides it being dirty, it's still very smooth. Now I gotta put my mess back together. I'm gonna put the lose reactor closer this time. It's just gonna be easier to do that. With the older styled reel, it doesn't really like cooperating with anything. I got them strapped back down. Oh yeah, once again, thank you to everyone that liked the live. I just noticed I have more likes. Thank you so much for liking the live. I'm just gonna stick the ultralight right there. And I guess I'll figure out the crankbait box on live, so I can get my crankbait box put away. Just stick you guys right there. And then make sure you watch my flicker shads. Make sure no one's stealing. Just stick them all up there. That's every single flicker shad, bigger flicker shad I own right there. And then I'm gonna try to mold this box a little bit because the heat has really been getting to it. I'm gonna stick the jigs back in. That Strike King swim jig has some pretty nice skirt material. I really like it. Welcome to the live. I'm gonna take these flicker shads back. Thank you for watching them. Make sure nobody stole them. But now I'm gonna have to split them all up. These non-jointed ones do not like to fit in unless they're in a certain angle. So I gotta pop them off, stick them in, and then these guys I could just like throw in there. There we go. Crankbait box is reorganized, ready to go. Pop that right back in front of my top water. I could take my bellows gills, throw them in. And now the bag is packed. And all my lures are ready for later today. I should probably clean up a little bit because I fish off the back of the boat because I'm not the actual owner of the boat. And I got Junebug Senko and a shaky head with a very large worm on it. Best way to clean this stuff up is pop side pockets and just drop them in. There, now it's clean. I have another bellows gill in this pocket, as you can see here. I believe that was my like Cajun Corolla color. I have Kit Kat wrapper. Pop that in my pocket and throw it away. I'll just stick that gill back in there. And then I gotta move my ultralight once again so I can put the bag where it needs to go. I'm not showing you license plates, so I'm gonna keep my phone angled. Stick it up in this little cavity here. This thing's netted some nice fish. Random gulp shrimp. Thank you for the like. And then as for my ultralight, go take this guy. I don't know where to put it yet. With the ultralights, I typically put them over by the tackle bags when we get on the boat because it's just easiest for the arrangement. But I think I'm just gonna put it in the truck because this combo is not one I would like to break. Stick that little ultralight in there, close her up. And then I'm gonna show you what I have on my workbench right now. Sorry if it's a little bit of a mess. Peep the square body. It's a mess because I haven't worked on it in a little while. I have my rod rack cleared out because I have like all the rods there. I got my catfish combo, just the base Vengeance combo, which I have like hardly any braid on that because I was going to throw a topwater spook on it. And then I have an Abu Garcia Easy Cast with the Vengeance reel. That reel's junk, so that's why it's on that rod. I got a random backpack. I'm going to toss this thing on the floor for now. I'll pick it up later. But I have Handing Magic L torn apart right now on the workbench because I've been having this thing lock up on me, which is very annoying. I still don't really get what it is, but I'm probably going to clean out that junky grease and put in new grease. Hopefully that will figure it out. I got all my molds in here for bait making. Random Storm crankbait, a whole bunch of Plastisol for bait making. I got Z-Man TRDs. I have a TRD tickler. But these things been sitting with other plastics, so these things aren't great anymore. I got my microwave for bait making, gloves, obviously. What else? Got Bucky's patch. Got some line up there. Jugs of Plastisol. I'm supposed to be getting a new gallon of my bass Plastisol. That's more or less trout Plastisol there, because that's super soft. Got one of my homemade craws here. And like this clear, silver, black, blue, like holographic flake in there pretty much. I got another topwater walking bait. Another swim jig, but that thing's really beat up, so I haven't fished it. This guy is one of the hooks that I use on the Bellows Gills. Like a little belly weight with a skirt on it. Just give it a little extra flash with that skirt. And I fished that once or twice during spawn season. And I did actually catch something on that. I don't think I have a short up about that, but I believe I caught one fish on that. Peep another casting product. I don't use lip grippers, but I have a feeling these things are good for what I paid for them. A random hook remover that I don't use. It's really old too. I got a decent bit going on here. Trout magnet crankbait. I almost forgot to mention that. I swear to God, I cannot get these things to work at all. Everyone tells me that they're the greatest thing ever, and I can't get them to work. There's another paddle tail to my frog for the paddle tail, like kicking frog. And then buzz bait, more spinner baits, random receipts over there, probably of reels that I've bought. Random tools. I don't even remember what all happened there. Fishman's calendar, which I should actually put on the boat. That's what I'm going to do. And then all my little spinners that I make, because I make the trout spinners as well. I'm just going to take this guy out on the boat. I don't remember what all I have left in here. I have an ultralight with me, so I do have tumbleweeds. I do remember there's tumbleweeds in there, and I want to fish the tumbleweeds. Yeah, right here, there's one tumbleweed. I want to fish that. There's terminal tackle in there. KVD crankbait. Nothing in that because I took it out. Brush hogs. Senkos. Caffeine shads, which is basically a solid tail fluke sticker, and crappie jigs, but I believe those are in my house. I'm gonna fish the tumbleweed on my ultralight. I got a little hook for the tumbleweed, offset hook, and a weight. That weight will only really be fished with the brush hogs, because you know me, I love my weightless Senkos. So these guys, I don't know what color they are. They're called the Shimmy Stick from Strike King. It's this really cool color. I think it's supposed to be like their version of baby bass, but they have like all greens, yellows, blacks, all kinds of flakes in there. That pearl color on the bottom is super cool. We don't have very many shad, so I didn't really take this crankbait out yet. But we got a KVD Sexy Shad square bill. I'm sure I could catch something on it if I throw it in the right spot. And if it is floating, I'm sure it will do really good in my lake. Because floating crankbaits are typically what I do best on. Mainly because the fact that I let it float and then I start reeling. Typically that's when I get the bigger bites. I'm going to throw this in with the ultralight so it doesn't blow away. My hat, little nice leather patch Bass Pro Shops hat. But I think that's about it. Thank you guys for liking the live. Thank you for coming in, watching my live. I believe one of you guys have been in for the entire live stream. Thank you so much for staying for that. I'm going to hopefully get some long forms out soon. I'm going to try to bring my camera, which actually I'm going to grab. And I'm not going to do a stream on the lake. I might do a stream in the creek soon, because that will be fun. I'll hopefully catch some rock bass or smallmouth on that stream. But once again, thank you. Please consider subscribing and checking out my other videos, because all my videos are fishing related, except for a couple shorts before when I was like starting out. But once again, thank you guys for watching, and please check out my channel. See you in the next one if you actually stick around, and thank you. Have a good night.